Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I will be telling about how to care for Cattleya orchids. The potting makes light, water and fertilizer requirements, and I am also including my Brassavola nodosa in this video, as the care for this one is totally similar to that of Cattleya orchids. And Brassavolas, they actually are closely related to Cattleyas. That's why they are extensively hybridized with Cattleyas and Lilias. The suffixes you see, right, while buying a Cattleya, it's written BC or BLC. Those stand for Brassocattleya or Brassolilia cattleya. Um, so the care is almost the same. They only vary a little in their morphologies. As you can see, the Cattleyas, they will have a long pseudobulb, which is kind of plump and stout, and on top of it there will be one or two leaves. However, Brassavolas, they will have very short pseudobulb and a long slender needle like leaf, and the hybrids, they will have characters from both the parents, both Brassavola and Cattleyas. So I think I can safely include Brassavola in this video as well. Cattleyas love to be potted in well draining chunky media and very ventilated pots, be it plastic pot or clay pot. They should have lots of drainage and ventilation holes. And Cattleyas, they actually do great in mounted conditions. I have both potted and mounted Cattleyas, and they all are doing good. For the potted ones, I prefer a combination of leca, charcoal and brick pieces, and sometimes if I receive a very dehydrated sick Cattleya with no roots at all, then I add a little moss to the media. While mounting my Cattleyas, I use a little moss as well, because moss, it will retain some moisture. So when it comes to very dehydrated and sick Cattleyas, or when it comes to mounted Cattleyas which dry out very fast, a little moss, it helps to retain some moisture and promote new roots. As any other orchid, Cattleyas, they like to be stable in their pot. If they are not stable enough, they will almost never root. So we can use a stake or a support while potting our Cattleyas to make them extra stable. Coming to watering, it depends on the media that I use. The ones that are potted in charcoal and other well draining non-water retentive media, and the ones that are mounted, they almost require to be watered daily. The ones that have a little moss, they get watered every 2 to 3 days once the media gets almost completely dry. It is also advisable to flush the Cattleya pots once in a while, like every 15 days or 1 month, under running water, to get rid of any salt deposit in the pot. If the Cattleya roots, they stay constantly wet or soggy, they tend to rot. Now, whenever in doubt, you can skip watering for a couple of days than over watering them. The roots are very prone to rot if water stands for long duration. If you miss watering, then also it's okay, because the water is stored in these plump pseudobulbs. However, don't let them go dry for too long, else the pseudobulbs will start wrinkling. It is okay for the older pseudobulbs to be slightly shriveled, but the new canes in healthy Cattleyas, they should be plump and stout. For the mounted Cattleyas and Brassavola, I spray them thoroughly daily. Sometimes in hot summer days, when the temperature reaches up to 40 degrees Celsius, I even water them twice daily. And Cattleyas, they like a humidity of about 40 to 60%. So whatever water it spills around the pot after watering, that should be enough to provide it. At my place, the humidity is not a problem, as it stays from 60 to 80% almost all around the year, which is ideal for I think almost all varieties of orchids to grow. While watering, be careful not to get water into these new growths. When water stays trapped for too long in these new growths, they will rot. Now coming to light requirements, Cattleyas they absolutely love bright light. So does the Brassavolas. They need very bright light to bloom, and I have mine in the sunny side of my balcony. They receive morning sunlight till about 9:30 and late afternoon sun 3:30 onwards. Just make sure they stay covered or shaded from the hot noon sun. They can also be grown on east and south facing window sills where they receive very bright light. The indicator that the Cattleyas are receiving adequate light is the apple green color of the leaves or a slight purplish tinge on the pseudobulbs or the leaves. Not all Cattleyas will develop such pigmentation. Some may also develop some freckles on the leaves as well. So for light as it goes, the brightest possible light you can give without actually burning the leaves. The sunburn will look somewhat like this. If this happens, then move back your Cattleya to a spot where it receives slightly less light. Cattleyas they can tolerate a wide range of temperature ranging from 15 degrees Celsius to up to 30-35 degrees Celsius. I am growing mine even at higher temperatures, so I can say that they are very resilient. Coming to fertilizers, Cattleyas they actually like to be fertilized on the lesser side. Even if they are not fertilized for quite some time, they can still bloom if all the other requirements are met properly. However, for optimal growth and blooming, a well balanced fertilizer like NPK or any organic fertilizers that should be used at regular intervals. I use liquid seaweed extract and Epsom salt mixed in water every 2 to 3 weeks, and that seems to be working for me. I somewhat reduce the frequency to about once in 4 to 6 weeks during the winters when the growth in general is relatively slow. It's okay to somewhat feed the Cattleyas at a lower or weaker side than overfeeding them, because overfeeding makes them grow vegetatively more and more and produce empty sheaths without any blooms. And Cattleya roots they are very sensitive to fertilizer, so over fertilizing they can actually burn the roots. This can somewhat be controlled by wetting the Cattleyas, the leaves and the roots with plain water before spraying fertilizer water. This way the root tip burns can somewhat be avoided. So each and everything is same for the Brassavolas as well. You can see I have mounted mine and check out her extensive root system. They can be potted in well draining media as well. They love bright light. And as mine is mounted, that's why I water her daily and I fertilize with seaweed and Epsom salt every 15 to 20 days, and she blooms all around the year. Each time there is a new growth, when it matures I get a bloom. If you however feel that I should make another separate video for Brassavolas, just let me know, mention in the comment section below and I will make another video. As far as my observation goes, I feel the thin leafed ones like Brassavolas, Brassocattleas, they produce several growths during the year and they bloom more frequently than the larger leaved big Cattleyas. They are I think the Cattleyas as such they are slightly slower. They produce maximum 2 to 3 growths per year. I'm not talking about the giant size specimen sized ones, just the average ones that we have at our homes. The Cattleyas they can bloom up to 2 to 3 times a year, but the Brassavolas and the Brassocattleas they can bloom even more. They can go up to 4 to 5 or 6 times a year. So that's all for today friends. I think I have covered quite a lot and I hope you liked today's video, and if you do then please like, share and subscribe and press on the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video. Everything is absolutely free. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.